I'm here with Chris King, owner of the Rev Room and Stickyz, two of the premier live music venues in Little Rock. And the Stickyz is the host tonight too of Mutants of the Monster Fest. And Chris, you do a lot for the scene. What's it like to see things come back to the way they are post-COVID, to where you can have stuff like this again?
Oh man, it's what we've been waiting for, right? Our world, like everybody's, was just shaken up for a couple of years. We didn't know what we were going to do, how the shows were going to line out, anything like that. And so to see them come back, and tonight there's a fantastic crowd inside for Mutants of the Monster Fest. It's we're honored to be a part of it, to be able to work with CT and all the bands. This is a great event.
And so does it, at this point in your career, does it bother you at all when you've got situations like where Weed Eater has to cancel like 2 days in advance and you have to change venues, or is that pretty seamless at this point?
Cancellations are just part of the business right now, and we see it for so many reasons, especially in the last 12 months. But even before that, man, it's part of it. So we were able to pivot a little bit. Originally the show was supposed to be at Rev Room with Weed Eater. We're expecting a little bit of a larger event, and we were just able to pivot over to the smaller room, and it's all working out, man. And
it's both rooms are very cool spots. So it's neat. It's neat that you've got such a kind of a cool, solid, awesome like backup plan, basically. You know what I mean? I really like that. I think it's neat, and it's something that this town like desperately needs. Having these type of venues like this.
Yeah, there's a handful of us that have lived here forever, and we've created these spaces. And there's just that community where everybody kind of knows what they do and what crowds to appeal to, and then how to take an artist from a smaller venue to a little bit of a larger venue to a little bit of a larger venue to a larger venue, and I think that we all kind of work together with the other venues in town to make it make sense.
And so, like, as the owner of like a venue that's gotten bands like the Melvins coming in, do you still get a rush every time you book somebody cool like that, or has it become kind of like old hat basically?
Oh no, all the time. I mean, it's still exciting for me. It's as exciting now as when I started 32 years ago. And I'll get the call and it'll be like, hey, this band's coming through, and immediately it's like the songs start going in my head and I start vibing, and I'm like, I get excited, and then it just kind of builds up. And sometimes the shows are a year away from when we start working on them. Sometimes they're just a couple of months away, but it's just my passion. It's what I've always done. It's the only job I've ever had, and I just freaking love it.
It's such a cool job to have, because booking bands, but it's also very stressful, right? Like
Yeah, it's stressful.
As far as like the local music scene, like how important is it to you guys to give bands the local bands the chance to open for these national acts, like Smoke Signals playing with Attack and stuff? Like, does it excite you to see those bands like that start at the kind of the bottom and then work their way to where they're playing that kind of stuff?
I love those situations when they come up, but the reality is they're more few and far between at this point, as a lot of the nationals already have their support lined out, or maybe they've got someone buying onto their tour. So it's hard to find those situations where we can put a local on board. And when we do have this situation, it's exciting because we get to kind of pick and choose just the right person that's going to see this platform to be able to go and play in front of a national, in front of a larger crowd in some cases. But the situations just don't happen as often as we would like for them to.
So are there any dream bands that are realistic for you that you think if you could just pick somebody realistic to come play here, who would you have play at Rev Room?
Well, one of the Deadbird guys was wearing an Afghan Wigs shirt, and when I saw that I was like, oh man, I love the Afghan Wigs. They've never played in Arkansas. So that's one that I would say would be on my list. But really, all-time favorite bands like Guided by Voices or the Hold Steady or acts like that. We've been blessed to work with them previously, so I'm really just looking for the next thing.
When you have cool bands, especially bands that you listen to a lot before and they come through, do you ever get starstruck, or you just kind of have to play it off in like professional?
A little bit of both. You know, it can be both, right? I can be starstruck and remember that I've got to enunciate clearly and not just, you know, drool all over the place while I'm talking to somebody, you know. Like right now, man.
Right, exactly.
Right?
So, Chris, thank you so much, and thank you for everything that you do for the scene. It's incredible, and you know, I know I just moved here, but it's very exciting to me, and I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, the Melvins here and all the other cool stuff that you have coming up. So, thank you so much for everything you do. It's awesome.
Awesome. I appreciate you taking a minute to talk to me and all your support.
Hell yeah.
That's great. Yeah, man.
Thank you so much.